Hey, what's up? It's Jay Slum, and I just wanted to tell the story about David and Goliath as a parable and see, how we might learn from that story. So, back in ancient Israel, the Philistines went to go attack the Israelites. The two armies met in a valley called the Shephelah. So you had the Philistines on one mountain and the Israelites in another, and neither army wanted to come down and attack the other because they would lose tactical advantage. So they were at a stalemate for weeks until eventually they decided to send two champions. And the Philistines champion, as you know, was a giant of a man, head and shoulders above the others, named Goliath. He had full plate armor, he had a huge sword and a javelin. He was like probably 7 feet tall, which is crazy at the time. And none of the Israelites wanted to challenge him, save for David, a simple shepherd. He was armed only in like a sling with a walking stick, and the leader of the Israelites said, "Hey, you need to wear this armor." He's like, "No, that's not what I do. I don't know how to wear that." Eventually, he slowly walks down the mountain to meet Goliath. Goliath's pretty unreactive as he starts to get close. And Goliath starts to talk some trash to him, like, "Hey, come closer so I can, beat your head in. What are you, fighting me with sticks?" David doesn't actually get that close. He gets out a rock. He starts spinning around his sling, slings it at Goliath. It hits Goliath right between the eyes, and Goliath is either stunned or killed. He falls down. David runs up, cuts off his head with a sword, and the Israelites win. And the moral of the story is like, we think, summon your courage, and the underdog can go ahead and defeat the favorite. Right? It's a great story, and I think there's a lot of parallels for us as HMSA. It's just that we are the underdog. We are Goliath. No, not David. Goliath is the underdog. And I think if we talk about some facts about the story, we can start to understand why. So there's just a general misunderstanding about a lot of the things about the story. So, when you hear sling, you're not talking the child's toy, like a Y-shaped stick with rubber bands on it that shoots rocks, 5 feet. This is a sling. So there's two cords and a leather pouch. You whirl it around at high speed. And this is what shepherds use to defend their flocks against wolves and mountain lions from a couple hundred yards away. So that's David, right? It's not a slingshot. This is a deadly weapon. Basically bullets. Specifically in this valley, it's said that the rocks in there have a high metal contact. So he's basically firing bullets at this guy. He was firing bullets at the guy's head. Now, kind of compare that to Goliath and his strategy. He's wearing like heavy plate armor with a sword and a javelin. So what's he expecting? He's expecting David to come up and fight him in hand-to-hand combat and just smash him and use his size and strength and just defeat David. But David had other ideas. Interestingly, part of the story is that Goliath is slow to move to the battlefield, and in fact, he's helped by his squire. It's kind of an interesting fact. Like, why did they call out that he had to be helped to the battlefield, and why is he slow? A little strange. So when you kind of add all of that, it starts to tell a different story. And a lot of physicians have hypothesized throughout the years that Goliath actually had a condition called acromegaly. That's when you have a tumor on the back of your pituitary, which causes you to grow. And a lot of giants, that's the most common condition. Some of the side effects is blindness. So when you think back to the story, Goliath was unreactive as David slowly walked down the battlefield when he clearly had no intention of engaging Goliath in hand-to-hand combat because he wasn't wearing plate armor, because he didn't have a sword. He misinterpreted the staff, the walking staff, and a sling as two sticks. He had to be helped to the field, probably because he had bad mobility. And when he taunted his opponent David to come closer It's because he couldn't see, and you have to come close for hand-to-hand combat. And David would just having none of that. David took his sling and killed Goliath. But when you kind of add all of that up, Goliath really had no chance. He had bad strategy that never was going to get executed, and he had all of these physical things that were working against him. I think we have a lot of things in common with Goliath. Our market share and size, our slowness to react. But I think we also have a lot in common with David. I think for our employees, our greatest strength is that we care. Our team here just really cares about our customers, and we do all kinds of extraordinary things to keep them happy and whole. And I think that's our superpower. I think, like David, many of us have courage, and maybe the next step is for us to start acting on it. I challenge you to do one thing every day to make things better here. Make it a better work environment for your peers. Make things better for our customers. Eliminate waste. Fix a procedure. Improve a system. Have the courage to make things better. And I think that even if we are David or Goliath, regardless of how you're looking at it, we can make this a better place to work and do things that are right for our community.